Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Game Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always joined by my co-host, Sean.
What's up, people? How are you doing?
And John.
Hey there. Welcome to Weekly Games Chat.
It's Tuesday, and
We don't have to tell them.
Well, I have to tell them why I sound like
They don't
bleh.
need to know.
If you're wondering why it's Tuesday and why Chris sounds like bleh, it's because for about 36 hours, he did not move from sickness. So he is recovering.
Hey, Chris.
And Sean, this is probably about the time I tell you I licked your microphone all day yesterday.
Yeah, well, Chris, when they're listening to this and they go, but it's not, it's Wednesday. Why is he telling us it's Tuesday?
On a Tuesday. I don't know, because
Now they're going to be all confused. Did
probably. I don't know. I don't care what they're confused about.
Oh,
Guys,
what's happening,
I
buddy?
feel like I owe you both an apology.
You should.
no.
I want to
Wait, what?
apologize for last week's guest.
Ouch.
He just took it to a whole nother level. It was all about Richards last week, and it was just
His power
he got really offensive.
his power level was over 9,000. That's a
just-
DBZ reference.
That was just pretty. I was uncomfortable.
I wasn't.
Maybe
As
I'll-
you should be.
I felt right at home, if I'm being honest. What?
Okay, well, if I'm being honest too, I think last week was a great show.
It was all right.
It was awesome.
I mean, it was okay. Let's
Now-
not
Don't try
Now
to
you're doing the
downplay him.
reverse.
Yeah, you
I-
can't
I-
downplay him.
instant reverse.
There goes that bit.
Yeah. Too much.
Bit alert.
But no, I appreciate
Yeah,
Darius taking the time last week.
It was fun.
We enjoyed having him on.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we will have him back at some point.
if there is another DBZ game,
I'm sure there will be.
that's all he can come on for.
He'll be the
That's all the
official
dude
DBZ
knows.
guy.
He's our correspondent.
And now on
Live
to
from
DB
Japan.
DBZ
Darius.
Darius. Hey guys, I'm over here in Japan. Yeah, that's how you sound, Darius. What's up?
Let's see. So
Is that it? We're just gonna let me hang silent like that for a minute?
Yeah,
Sorry,
pretty much.
what's up?
Yeah, just keep watching the little thing go across the screen, John, and reading stuff.
I should just minimize that.
No,
he gets
he's
distracted
like
by
a
bright
squirrel,
colors.
isn't
Yeah. He's like, hey.
And I'm the one talking, even though it's right in front of me, so I can do that while I talk. You know what I mean?
Apparently he's a grown up.
He's deep breathing. Here it is.
Yep, old deep breath Baron.
That was pretty good.
DBB.
Hey, I started Breath of the Wild again.
Yeah?
I did, yeah.
That's what's
well,
up.
I wouldn't say I started it over. I've continued on my quest.
Oh, okay. You remembered how to do things?
Took me a little bit.
Do the weapons still break?
Yeah, the weapons.
I'm
still,
out.
Right?
The weapons
That's
still
the worst
break,
part of the game.
but the I didn't get good. But
I did. I would keep getting good
Remember,
with the same weapon,
he'd be
and
in-
then it would break. Yeah.
I think the one thing that I had to kind of reacclimate myself with.
Nice word.
It's not that big a deal.
Oh, but on Words with Friends, that would get you a great score if you played it right.
Is the cooking?
Ah,
Kind
yeah.
of remembering
Get
how
good.
everything works.
See how that works?
And I scanned in ToonLink.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of fish.
Nice.
Got a
That-
boomerang. And apparently, what I've learned, and this kind of sucks, like the different Link amiibos, like Skyward Swords amiibo, Toon Link, all these things, they can give you their outfits,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
you can only scan the amiibo once a day,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't get anything but fish,
Yeah.
particularly with Toon Link. So, I mean, one day it'll give you the hat, one day it'll give you the shirt, one day it'll give you the pants. And that's even if they even give you that stuff.
Yeah.
That is true.
So it's like,
Remember
God,
when
this game sucks. I can't believe it was my game of the year last year. But
Especially because you haven't beat it.
Remember when I got Epona and then immediately left her on a mountain?
Oh, I remember that.
I
Oh,
left
God.
her on a mountain.
Yeah. I said,
Me and you
"Peace out,
talked. I
horse."
remember me and you talked that, trying to figure that out.
We got close.
Yeah. We got close a couple times.
But I now have, because I have the DLC, so I now have the Korok mask,
Oh, so
which
you can,
and it just kind of wiggles your face every time.
that just doesn't sound
It
right.
you hear a jingle every time you come near.
Come near what, John?
Mike D would say.
Maintain
Mike D
professionality.
would say that you paid to win to get all your Korak seeds.
Yeah, but he's just trying to 100% the game.
Yeah, Mike G would be like, I didn't have no mask. I just did it.
Yeah.
No, that's he printed out. I believe he went like
I had to go and look at the
you know
map
those
and figure
movies
out where they were.
They got the crime boards up and they got pictures everywhere.
Yes.
He basically did that and put like
I remember.
things together so he could have all the Korok seed
He had
locations.
little red check marks wherever he'd finally found one.
It was ridiculous.
It was
but kind of
ridiculous.
awesome.
It's not needed. It's like, dude, you get 400 of those. You've maxed out everything.
Yeah.
So we found out Mike D is a Viking today.
Oh, really?
I can't even make this sound funny. You had to be there. But
Yeah, it was a location thing. Basically, we're at lunch, and he's just as savage as ever.
At Firehouse?
Yeah, he's just as savage as ever.
he's just putting huge amounts of food into his mouth, belching on a whim.
You didn't know this?
He's just he just carries on in a way that is fit for a man that needs a horned helmet. And I mean,
all the man
the way
needs
he said chopping bears.
I basically said I was trying to describe what I think Vikings did, right?
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, he needs a helmet with horns on it, a big ship, and just to run around chopping bears.
That's what they do, huh?
Yeah, and John's tickle box flipped all the way over at Firehouse.
He's trying to keep it in check right now.
Because you're picturing Mike D
with his stupid, it'd probably be crooked, not fit right.
hacking and just trying to hack a bear.
With his dumb axe, he would just be terrible.
Very nice.
We're not talking about you.
man.
We're talking about Mike.
Oh, no. I mean, like, I'm just like, people are surprised by this. I'm like, folks, all Mike D eats is red meat. That should tell you enough right there.
And then I've also restarted The Evil Within, not Evil Within 2.
Ah,
Oh, is this where you?
Yeah, somebody deleted my save.
Yeah.
good.
So I'm starting over.
Have
but
you
I'm much
presented
better at it this time.
Have you
around.
presented the results of the other save recovery did?
We don't talk about that yet,
No,
Chris.
I got to finish that campaign.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Then
That's right.
and then I can say, here you go, take it or leave it.
I'm going to talk in.
But there's no guarantee that she'll take it.
look,
And I
that's
told you
what
that.
Hey, look, I'm going to talk in code now because I got.
You almost outed me that one night.
Yeah.
You remember that?
We were.
Oh,
Was it
Was it
countries.
countries? And I start talking about secret project save file, right?
yeah.
And I get a look from John. Is like, shut it down. What are you doing right
Put
now?
a Richard in your mouth right now and
Who
swallow
knew that
it.
3 months later she has no clue?
She thinks the game's gone.
Yeah.
She thinks she gave it away.
He's always
No, she
like,
did put it in the donate pile, but I took it back
Wow.
because I wanted to play the game too. It ain't.
You imagine
fair enough.
being that shut, like just like
she shut it down when
You're
that
like-
happened. When Chris did that, or when it happened and Chris was here.
you said it right the first time.
That's
She
funny.
completely shut it down. She said, "I'm done with
dude.
this game. I'm never coming back." So hopefully, I told Chris from the get go, there's like a 20% chance she's gonna go. Oh wow, thank you.
No.
But the rest of it's like, I don't care.
I mean, I feel
I'm
like I did everything I could to make it up. Short of like taking the character.
sound effect.
Yeah, really. Somewhere Jeff right now, it's just
He's like burping, drinking water, and then it makes that effect when
Jeff
he
right
drinks.
now just
didn't know it
like
was gonna
threw
do
his Jeff just threw his phone out the truck.
He's going,
Because
really?
he can't take it.
Really?
Yeah.
Hope you're happy.
Way to go.
You're pissing off Jeff. It's your fault.
That was not water.
But Chris has helped me get all the characters up to level 70. I accidentally got a trophy.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't mean to.
Nice. But not nice because some people like to get them themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we know which character she hasn't built up all the way, and it was
It made sense.
Yeah.
The one.
no.
The newest one.
And this is all this conversation that we just had. It's purely hypothetical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just what ifs.
We're just talking about a thing,
We're in a world of what if.
right?
That's right.
That's
So
true.
what are you guys playing?
You know what I'm
The
playing.
game that I'm about
I
to
don't
talk
actually
about.
know what you're playing. You're playing WoW, I guess.
Yeah, hardcore. I'm back into WoW. Chris is into the topic of the week.
Yeah.
We got me and you are excited about a game that's coming up this week.
So excited. And then Chris and I are excited about a game coming in a couple weeks.
Which one is that?
Well, I'm going to be playing some multiplayer soon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get
Are
Clarissa.
you coming in on that?
I traded my Xbox away,
Did you?
and John's all mad about it.
This is really ridiculous.
So
You also
to-
traded away your PS4, didn't you?
I traded it to a guy on Craigslist for
Did you trade
$74.
Did you trade in your PS4?
That's been gone, John. Look
Yeah,
at the last
like
time I was
2
on.
weeks.
Did you trade in your PS4?
Yes.
He's done. He belongs to the master race now. Well, the good thing is you can play this game on your PC with us on our Xbox.
What about God of War? Did you trade in your
hold
PS4?
on, let it marinate.
Yeah. Really, you could logic this out. I've logicked it out. I know how, like, he's a level 5 troll. So, it's not that hard to figure out, John.
Did you trade in your Xbox?
Yes.
Okay.
Once upon a time, he traded in his Xbox.
Did you trade in? Do you have an Xbox in your house at the moment?
Yes.
Not your
I know at least one.
Not your brother's.
Yeah.
So you have 2 Xboxes.
No.
You have one Xbox One,
Yes.
and it belongs to your brother.
No.
Belongs to him, but he lets his brother use it.
No.
Ooh.
What is happening?
He's not allowed, huh?
$74. No, he's got his own.
Oh.
Yeah, but I only have one. That's what
Okay.
John.
Gotcha.
When he listens to the playback, the way he asked me the question, how many do you have?
Do you have
The way you then say is, do you currently own a PS4?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you currently own an Xbox One?
Yes.
Do you currently have a PS4 hooked up to a TV?
You did this to me
Yes.
all day long.
Because
That's what we call the long con.
you asked me if
Don't call
I've
him
traded
Sawyer.
in a PlayStation.
What?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
he's
traded in a
traded
PlayStation 4 for a PlayStation 4 Pro.
You're just not being specific enough with your questions, and he's giving you very general. answer.
Vic Vague over there.
Well, I think we're not being specific enough about how much of a Richard he is.
Well,
you should have known me.
Yeah, when I have fun and
I'm specifically telling you he's a level 10 D.
I told him that I sold it to a guy on Craigslist for $74.
You make Mikey look like a sweet boy.
Hello, Mikey.
Well, in fairness, you've been talking about hacking your consoles for your PC.
That
favor of your PC.
that's been a while. Like it's I've said that for some time because it went back all the way to PUBG. I wanted to get like a legit PC, and I thought, well, hey, if I'm going to go all in, what do we need consoles for? And then I made sense, and I was like, well, because of God of War.
Not to pivot, but speaking of PUBG, Chris,
Yeah.
I was watching some PUBG videos on YouTube.
Okay.
Now, does this statement sound crazy?
Okay.
PUBG looked like garbage.
It can at times look like garbage depending on the PC.
Okay.
And when the video is from, especially if it's from, especially from what I've heard, the Xbox until very recently, it did look like garbage.
It was PC stuff.
But it depends on. See, that's when we get into that realm. I didn't really touch on. It depends on your graphics card.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Is it ever going to look like Call of Duty good? No. That's not the idea of it. Like, because the things
you could turn it on and show them.
Well, yeah, the things that like look good in the game are more so. It's more so about the size of the island, the draw distance.
It's not
the
the size that matters, Chris.
Oh, it matters.
It's the motion
of the ocean.
You go in the ocean if you want to,
Yeah, it's pretty cold right now,
without some motion. See what happens.
and it's got AIDS.
Whoa, what?
I
What?
can't verify that, but I think it's true.
That's where you need to edit that, which would make it even funnier.
Ooh,
What did he say? What did he say? No one knows.
What did-
We can only speculate. AIDS. You made me say it again.
AIDS.
Got him. You got it.
We also got a topic of the week.
We do have a topic of the week.
Tell him where
And
that's from.
You notice I left it blank
I know
because
where
I
it's from.
couldn't.
Yeah, and they know where it's from, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't know, it's on him.
If you haven't, go watch Team America.
Golly.
Greatest opening number ever.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh wait, is that one from that or
Yeah.
no? You just did the one from Family Guy. That's what it is.
Right. And
That's the one. The other one is from Team America. You've got AIDS. That's Family Guy, and then AIDS. Your mother and your sister too got AIDS.
how do they put a jingle to it? That's the comedy.
That's all that guy does is write really funny jingles.
You're talking about Seth MacFarlane?
No,
Because he's
what's
funny.
his face? Trey Stone.
Yes, Trey
Yeah.
Stone.
Trey
Yes,
Stone is.
yes.
I mean, he wrote a freaking musical one, Tony. That should tell you, right?
See, John, a Tony Award is,
Right?
something that nobody on the planet cares about.
except for Chris.
Tony cares about it, and apparently Manuel Miranda cares.
Some guy named Tony, like his ears perked up just now. He's like, I care. I'm going to write the guys to tell him how I care.
I'd care to move on to the topic.
Hey, let's do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Please, dear God.
Okay.
Topic
time. The topic is
paprika.
You're D. I can edit that out. I will go back.
I need to know if people say paprika or paprika. That's all I'm saying.
So Chris's dog expelled some gas.
I don't believe that's what it was, but
And
It could be.
And Sean says, "Do you smell Slim Jims?"
if that's what that was, that's amazing.
It smelled really
Slim Jimmy.
very Slim Jimmy.
I love that I made John say Slim Jimmy.
Like the Tabasco ones or the regular ones?
We're just old classic Slim Jimmy.
You've never eaten
Yes.
food and it's come out almost smelling the exact same. Me
No.
neither. Me neither.
No,
Me neither. Me
because
neither.
I have intestines.
Me neither.
Interesting.
All right, yeah, Chris, what you got for us, big dog?
As I was going to say earlier, before old Paprika Haywood popped in, the topic is Into the Breach.
Is this a game about Winston Churchill?
It is not.
No, it's a Final Fantasy ripoff. You'll see.
What?
Hey, how you doing? Not like 7-10 or anything like that, but like
No. Keep talking about things you know nothing
I
about.
do know. And this is, if I did say this may have come from one name, a friend of yours named Josh.
That's because I told him what the game was.
I don't
Yeah.
think you did.
Yeah, because I was trying to get him in on it. Because I knew I knew it would tickle his boxes. Anyways,
Paprika.
so
Yeah.
if you remember with Kingdom Come Deliverance, I said like most games, they're aiming to give you disbelief, right? Well, then there's like another thing with that disbelief that occurs, which is that usually there's an understanding when you have a role-playing game that you start out pretty weak, and then if you do the work, you eventually become a god, right? If you're in Zelda, you go out there and you get more hearts, you get better, and at least in Breath of the Wild, you get better equipment to eventually the Master Sword, and you get tons of benefit for it. You get better gear, and to a point where before, when you got like some little crappy sword, you knew it was only going to last a couple of hits versus like the Master Sword, which can be recharged and just is indestructible. Mm-hmm. The same is true for like, most infantry games. You start out kind of a basic shooter guy, and by the end, if there's a progression system, you're freaking Master Chief, right?
Right.
You're all these things because you want to be a god. That's I would say the majority of games you play out there. And sure, the enemies, they might get harder in retrospect, but if you really, really are willing to put in the time, usually there's going to be a level where even though enemies are harder than they were you initially faced, they're still just nothing for you if you know what you're doing. Like Assassin's Creed's a great example. By the time you get to level 40 in that game in Origins, no one's holding you down. Unless you're just really finding a way to get every single person who's level 40 to attack you at once, which I would not suggest. But then there's another kind of game. And this is a game that constantly wants to remind you of one thing. You're not a god.
You are inferior.
You cannot always win. You need to think about what you're doing. You need to think about your enemies. And you need to be aware that, as much as you're trying to beat them, they are critically trying to beat you too, whether it be an AI or an opponent itself. It's a kind of game that puts forth what we like to call, and John, you'll respect this term, Kobayashi Maru scenarios.
Ooh.
Yes, aka the no-win scenario. No matter what you do, something's going to be a loss. Mm-hmm. It's the kind of game that can go where you feel like you can be going along and it's great, and then 3 minutes later it's ruined. Hours of investment gone instantaneously. And that's honestly, when it comes especially to this genre, tactical role-playing turn-based games, it's one that I love, and it is exactly what Into the Breach has aspired to be. So, what is Into the Breach?
News!
Right?
Is it tactics?
It's a tactical game.
It's
a tactical
that's what it
role-playing.
was. It was Final Fantasy Tactics. He said it was a much better game.
Yeah, well,
That was him trolling you through me.
Yes.
Wait, Final
I've
Fantasy.
told him to go get that.
But for the
game
record,
because
you're
of that.
smiling
Yeah.
And you get it that it's from Josh. It's with love.
So Final Fantasy Tactics was compared to Mario plus Rabbids. So are we going to say that Mario plus Rabbids is like Into the Breach?
A little bit, but this is more of a actual strategic game. See what I did there?
He didn't play Rabbids. He doesn't understand.
I mean, he's kidding. He's just teasing.
No, I'm defensive, and now it's time to get angry about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, Penny's squeaking. Why don't you grab that?
That really added to the anger, right? Penny.
So, for those who don't know, Into the Breach is the second game from Subset Games. They're the makers of the very much appraised FTL. Came out back in 2013.
Faster than light.
Yes, good job. Good job. Yeah. It is, as I said before, it's a tactical turn-based role-playing game. So, think Final Fantasy Tactics, a game Sean's never played.
Never will. I hate tactical games except for Rabbids.
We know you don't want to critically think.
Yeah, I critically think all day.
I've seen you play football games.
Requires all the critical thinking I need, Chris.
Just saw you crack.
Admit that I'm your friend, though.
That's funny. So it is a game that basically the idea is very far in the future, right? Humanity has been invaded by these giant monsters called the Vec. There's no real humongous backstory to this.
Where did they come from?
I don't know. Vec,
from the breach? From the breach?
No, playing Vec. Old Vectorton. They don't really go into it. There isn't like, the game isn't too much of like a deep plot story game in any ways. It's like, here's the basic scenario, now kind of go with it. But the idea is that you control giant mechs, and it's kind of like, a kaija battle, right? You have the humans are in these giant mechs trying to defend cities, and you have the kaija, aka the Vec, trying to destroy them.
Kaiju.
Yeah, fine. Whatever, Japan. So
good job.
The idea is the island, there are 4 islands that you need to, in the end, capture and defend, right? And each island has zones within them. On each zone, it will spawn a random 8x8 map. It's always different every time, though, depending on which island you are, there's usually themes that overlay. Like if you're on the grass island, there's grass usually everywhere. When you're on the desert island, it's usually a desert island. If you're on the snow island, guess what? Snow, right?
Okay, I think I'm getting it.
Now get what's on the acid island.
Acid?
You are so smart. I knew you could do it. You shadow big boy. So the idea is like the map spawns and you'll see city structures, right? You'll see where the initial Vec are placed at, and then you get to place where you want your 3 guys. You always get 3, where you want them to land. Okay. And the idea is very simple. Keep them from destroying the city or whatever objectives they're getting you. Because anytime they destroy one part of the city, you have an overall power grid. Starts off at like 5 nodes. Anytime you lose just one building, you lose a node. And that thing carries over. You've got to take care of that and manage it the whole entire time. You either have to do certain objectives to repower it up, or you have to be aware that if you are in a scenario where like 5 Vec are attacking 5 different city buildings and they actually achieve that, it's an instant death. You're going to be done.
And you can't rebuild the buildings.
No, you can. So what happens is basically in every zone, as you do these things, there are like secondary objectives that if you complete them, you get stars, and you also get potential power grid points for. And whenever you get to an end of an island, when you complete it, you can take those stars and you can use them to do a couple things. You can either upgrade your characters, you can get new pilots, or you can improve your defenses. So if you've lost a lot, like I'll usually end up with about 5 or 6 nodes of these whenever I end, and I will dump them back into making sure that I have plenty of security on my power grid, because I know it's just only going to get harder as I go forward. But
that is what she said.
The idea. So the idea that the game does is
Darius, I miss you.
what the game is asking from you is basically, as you place your pieces on the board, is to understand the movesets of your mechs and the movesets of your enemies. Like, you can kind of see like what their range of movement is and where they may eventually head to and what they'll try to destroy. Mm-hmm. You'll know what your objectives are. Like if it says like defend the coal plant, the coal plant's pretty easy to figure out where it is. So you kind of know like, okay, I need to be watching on that. And it asks you basically, the Vec will always move first, and then it asks you to basically make counter moves to try to stop the Vec. So it's never about like actually maintaining a position or becoming really overpowerful. It's kind of more of using critical thinking, kind of like chess in a way, where you try to see where your enemy is going, what you think their intended moves are, and to put scenarios out there with your 3 mechs to counter them so that no matter what, you don't lose pieces to the puzzle, aka the cityscape. The catch is, no matter how hard you try this, you will eventually be put into these scenarios where you will have to make very hard choices of what you do. And it can mean sacrificing one parts of the city to save another part. That's like a core key element that you need to get one of these reputation points. It could be sacrificing your own soldier pilots who do get experience and level up over time, and that is very important. I'll explain why in a minute. To save the city, to keep the game going, and it could mean giving up objectives that you want to keep because there's so many other parts of the city that are being attacked. You can't afford to, to take someone away to defend that one thing is such a pain. There's really nothing you can do about it. And the reason, what gives the ground that makes these choices hard, really mainly the one of saving a city versus saving a pilot, your pilots gain experience over time. And the idea is whenever either the team completely fails or you lose power to the whole entire grid, it kind of takes this X-Men Days of Future Past thing where you can send one pilot back in time to start the battle again.
Jeez.
Yes. So it's kind of like, the best way I can describe it is, Josh is the one who gave me this analogy, and I will gladly use it because I think it's the best one. It is X-Men Days of Future Past meets Pacific Rim. That's what this game is at its core. And it's really cool. Like, so you pick one guy and he can go back and he keeps all of his little things. So like, you want to keep these pilots around because as they unlock things, they get certain perks and abilities. Like they can move between through enemies. They can get maybe additional bonuses in terms of damage, depending what kind of mech they're using. They can, teleport or things like that. Like there's all that kind of important little perks that as you find a pilot you really attach to and go like, I really like his skill set, you're like, he will stay alive no matter what. But usually he's also your most powerful guy. So he's the one that has to take the most lumps for the team because he can take the hits versus like your little artillery dude who like will get one-shotted if you leave him in harm's way. But yeah, it really requires you to step back and critically think. And the fun part is,
there's something fun.
There's tons of fun too.
Just being a funny way.
But there's no coming out of any particular mission unscathed. You have to sacrifice something.
Not always. If you're like early on, especially, you'll have instances where everything lines up.
Do you get rated based on after every
like a Metal Gear Solid type rating?
You not exactly. Like you get those bonus objectives, and if you actually go through the island in an island and get all the objectives, they'll give you a bonus for that.
Nice.
The other thing that goes on while you're going through these islands is that randomly you'll have certain things that show up, like they'll give you an objective like defend this terraformer or defend this train that's coming through. And the big one is you'll have time pods that land from the future, come back in time and crash and have technology and additional pilots. Mm-hmm. And if you can get those and keep it alive through the end of the round, or through the battle, as you will, you get a ton of upgrades. So they're always throwing out like little incentives to do that. They also have like times where, depending on your levels, you'll have like random weather elements that come into play. Like you'll have tidal waves, and it'll show you like, hey, this row of tidals all the way to your right is about to get knocked out by a tidal wave. So again, you use it to your strategic elements because you go, wait a minute, I don't have to worry about that one Vec over there because by the time he gets attacked, he'll be dead. You know, it's taking all those kinds of consideration in. Or like you'll see there's a volcano and these tiles are going to get hit by the explosion from it. So let me go ahead and line up Vec into these spots so they all get killed, right? Just things like that. Like they're always critically making you think. And if you, as I said, if you go perfect on an island, you get a lot of nice little bumps for it.
Sean,
Yes.
this sounds like a watered down version of Mario plus Rabbids.
I have to say,
Is it the other way around?
yeah,
Probably. Just like to be obvious, Sean, sometimes.
this is I would say after XCOM, maybe like this is the only thing I've played lately that comes to that tactical difficulty. I don't play a ton of these, but
Did
usually
you ever dabble in the Mario game?
Rabbits. No, I played this other one. It was called Super Mario Odyssey. It was probably the best game on Nintendo last year. It had coins.
I just mean a lot of the things you've said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear from what you said. This is a more,
Oh yeah, tactical one.
but you'd be surprised how
I'm
deep Mario plus Rabbids actually was,
for sure.
because they compared it to tactics as well as SOCOM.
XCOM. So comes
Old
also.
SOCOM.
I caught it.
You did, but you said it, and I love you for
But
it.
it's like you get this after you do things too, like you go through a run, you'll you get achievements, right?
Yeah.
And as you get these achievements, you get coins for them, and you can use those to unlock additional mech packs. So there's like different squads formations, and they all have pluses and minuses. Like the first one's kind of like a basic, just missiles and tanks and like a mech. The second one I got though, like uses like it's more of a defensive purpose. Like it has a scientific bot that goes around and like casts out these domes to protect your city so they can take an extra hit. There's like one that has like a freaking rail gun that will just shoot across the map, which is both good and bad because it can take out about 3 enemies at once. But if a city or one of your own people are in the way, those are going too.
It's like a Death Star.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no control.
Old handheld Death Star.
So, like everything has like balance, everything has perks, everything has weaknesses. It's understanding how those work and how your enemy works to basically set up scenarios where, I'll give you a perfect example. Like say there's one,
We'll be the judge of that.
Yeah.
say there's one Vec that's like attacking a city. All right. You see he's attacking the city. The tile next to him is got another Vec right next to it, but the tile on the other side of him is open.
Mm-hmm.
You could take your artillery dude and shoot.
Old artillery dude.
Hey, artillery dude.
And shoot a torpedo to that open square that's next to him. It will cause him to move, thus doing 2 damage to him and killing him, and also hitting that guy next to him and giving him a shot. So then like maybe when I use my other mech who's up here, who's on the same row that can shoot all the way down the row, all he's got to do is hit him one time and he's dead. It's things like that, or knowing how to say, it doesn't matter that I do damage on this person. What matters is that I get them out of the square that allows them to attack my buildings, and understanding how you can move them and kind of manipulate them to your will. And it's really fun. Like I like it because I really hope this game.
You like it because it's like work.
Yeah, well, I like it. I like it because and I'll say this. I believe FTL eventually came to mobile. I hope this game eventually comes to mobile because it would be a perfect poop game.
I was going to say.
It's a game like when I come home for lunch, I can heat up my meal and have this turned on.
Do I need to cut that off?
No, you're fine. I got it timed.
Yeah?
Well, I'm looking on the thing, so 34.
You know why? Because you're awesome.
Okay. Pound it.
Oh, okay, with fists. Okay.
That's the one that had the AIDS on it, by the way. That's where I got sick. But yeah, I could come home, fire up my meal, and like the game loads instantly. It's not a huge file or anything like that. I could play for 10 minutes and then hit save quit and I'm good, and just move on.
I gotta say, I can't let you say that you had tons of fun playing this.
Oh yeah.
You may have, but I've heard you on
Oh,
Discord.
you've heard me, yeah. As far as like where I'm just like, Sean's heard me in those Kobayashi Maru moments where I like just look up and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
It took me about a whole week.
What?
To finally beat this game for one time. So, but I got it. And it ends the same way every time you go to this final island, and it goes from there. It's never a shock, but like once you beat it, it goes like, all right, let's go save another timeline.
So you mentioned mobile. Is it something practical for consoles?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think any tactical game like this is made for consoles. I mean, you saw XCOM's one more, and Rabbids. You know, those are 3D games that have a lot more complicated overview that has to go into place. This is a 2D game, so this would be nothing on console.
Is it a 2D game?
Yeah,
Yes,
that means
it's
2-dimensional.
Thanks, Sean.
So, do you have any questions, or should I just wrap this up? I know you just want me to wrap this
No,
up.
that's not true.
It's okay. I feel your daggers going into my heart.
Just because I don't
As
like
you
a
look at me.
I don't like a tactical game. They're made for you. Like when you look at Steam right now, it's 9 out of 10 on Steam. It's got
Yes.
really good ratings everywhere
Yeah.
else. But you know why it's got those good ratings? Because people who like these kind of games realize
love it.
it's a good game.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to knock
That's
it. It's-
typically how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except for other good games that everybody likes.
I remember when FTL first got nominated for Game of the Year by IGN in 2013. There were some people who were pissed off by that. They're like, "That's not a real game," and I was like,
Can
"No."
you say pissed?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can say pissed.
And I kind of
we all three just did.
I looked at them and I said, like, "Well, it's more of you just haven't played that game, and you
was,
don't
was
understand."
FTL a turn-based like this one?
It kind of yes, it's like more of a managing a spaceship. Like you have different moves that you have to manage in the spaceship, and you're consistently trying to move forward and get all your gear and stuff before a wave of enemies catches you. So it's a lot of decision making. Like, do I go for fuel or do I go for resource?
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me whatever.
So people love that game. I love that game.
Metallica.
Okay.
Yeah. See, Metallica, John,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is a band that said, "So what?"
But that's funny.
Yeah.
But what's funny is you like the Doom soundtrack. I've said that many times here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Metallica would fit right into that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Dun, dun.
Just
Dun,
saying.
dun.
It's pretty cool.
Well, the question is,
Thank God he's gone talking about
why
that.
haven't you played Doom?
Oh, hey, Chris.
Doom, Sean. Doom.
I was waiting to get it on the Switch.
Are you too much of a pansy to
That's a
play
lie.
Doom?
I don't.
It's on the Switch. It's been
I-
out for a month.
Hey, you quit with your Donald Trump hands, okay?
You really did do a Donald Trump
was
right there.
yeah.
Did I do this?
There was
Yes,
that,
you did.
and all your lips started purging out a little bit.
How dare you?
Doom is it's super fast paced and first person and stuff,
I've played it.
Those are words used to describe it.
and it's pretty hardcore.
I've played it too.
I played it in 1992.
With a mouse and keyboard,
Keyboard.
a mouse and keyboard. But you got to wrap this up, and I need to know how many Richards you give it. Right? Is that what we're doing
Yeah,
now?
I can wrap this up.
Oh, I mean,
I wrote a conclusion.
see, John, a conclusion is
I want to hear it.
So Into the Breach is personally everything that fans of tactical games desire, I think. It's
He's
movements.
trying to act like he's not reading.
yeah. Just be super
I
cash.
just think, yeah.
You can do it. Come on, you got it.
Its movements are clearly defined. Right? Is that what you want?
Yeah, just do it, man. You got it.
The movements from your enemies are clearly defined, but it's clear that at the same time the AI acts on the same level as you. You have to respect it. It's got to respect you. In the moment either one doesn't do that, they fail. And that's what I love about this kind of game. Each group of mechs feels unique. It feels like it's got its own skill set. And there are some that I've played with that I've just been absolutely terrible with.
That's
And
what you
I
do.
just go, nope, that was a waste of tokens. And I move on to another one. The progression system makes you feel like pilots matter. And you want to do everything to save them for that reason. So you're just not so quickly to put them in front of danger. But at the same time, your desire to win eventually makes you have to put times where you go, man, you're going to take this hit. I don't know if you're going to take the next one. It is finally, a game, no matter how advanced you may become with it in one outfit or one run, I should say, it will never forgive you for your mistakes. It will never let up. And every time you screw up, you know that you can start again and you have just as much of a shot of winning or losing as you did the last time.
It's like a college football season.
Exactly. Except for, there are,
Hey, John,
you don't get $365 billion worth of recruiting like at
John,
Alabama.
That wasn't, it was, sorry.
It offers you consistent no-win scenarios as well as complete victory scenarios. And you're thankful for each one you're thankful for the one that you get, and you just feel so painful the times.
What's he doing?
I don't know what's going on right now.
Is he pounding something?
Yeah, where are you pounding? He can tell what's coming. It makes you, like I said, it makes you, when those bad moments come, when you know that you can't win, it makes you appreciate the times. It really goes.
He sounds like he's reading a Churchill speech.
But he's looking away from the paper.
No, it's not. It's like when you feel the bad times coming, and you know that you cannot win.
Dude, do we need to
I
stand
did
up?
watch
Just remember
Darkest
to
Hour.
look above.
Do we need to throw papers all around you right now and clap for you and stuff?
right.
So when you walk out the room?
We shall take them on the land. We shall take them by the hour. I will give this game
Ooh.
9.5 Richards out of 10.
Oh, that is a quality.
Wow.
That's quality length right there.
Wow.
So I've got my first two front runners, I'd say, this year already.
What's the other one?
That other game I gave a really high score.
I don't remember.
Celeste.
Oh yeah.
I think I gave that a 10.
You see why I hate him? Because Celeste and Into the Breach are his two favorite games this year.
I'm sorry I like 2D things. I'm sorry. Do you hate Mario? Do you hate classic Zelda?
No, I actually
Yeah,
like.
you need to
Hey, why don't you shut your fucking face? I did the thing again.
That was good.
Where it seems like I
It
said
sounded like you
but
said
I didn't say
You
it.
didn't say it. Jeez.
Well, Chris, that's top notch.
Tap Natch.
Yeah, all 16 people that play tactical games are going to appreciate that.
That's funny. That's funny.
No, for real. Top notch, buddy.
So does that mean 15 people play Kirby?
He's good at that. That's good.
Let's go to the news.
Let's do it.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
So much clip.
Oh my God, that was
So much
top-notch.
what?
Look over there.
So much what?
What?
Clip.
I thought he said something else.
With a,
So much.
not a P. Not a P. That would be bad. That's a wordy dirt.
So, first up, the
Yeah.
Division 2
This
announced.
is pretty big, right, Chris?
Right? Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft have announced Tom Clancy's The Division 2. The only real thing we know at this time is that the game will run on an updated version of the Snowdrop engine that powered the original. It looks like there will be more to come in at E3 2018, with creative director Julian Gerardi saying the sequel will take, quote, everything we learned over the past 2 years, applying it towards the sequel to make sure we get it right.
I'm
unquote.
down. I'm
So you're
playing
saying they're going to learn that if they screw it up after launch,
No,
everyone will bail.
You see that last little part you read about everything we learned, yada, yada, yada?
Yeah,
They just needed to say, we got good.
I hope so. I mean, like, Division was awesome when we
When
first
we
started.
first started,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't, but now it's supposedly good again.
Yeah, I know it's got its fan base, but it's one of those things like where everyone just kind of moved on.
I thought it was going to be the only kind of game like that I'd play. Like,
Yeah.
it just seemed cool,
Mm-hmm.
and then it wasn't. But now there's another one coming.
Not to derail this conversation.
you
Oh,
just
you're
did.
about- oh,
It's
okay.
great.
Just
It's
did.
great conversation.
All right, Giant Derail, go
the
for it.
tracks are laid.
Everybody shut up for a second.
Don't burp.
No.
Don't, John.
Did the fact that we chimed in with the big loud news kind of,
No.
because you guys are blasted in my ears.
Yeah, it is loud right now. It might have turned up a little.
Why would it have turned up?
Turn down.
Because things happen.
Why are you guys old? Or I've lost my hearing with DJ
Huh?
headphones.
See, this sounds better. I feel better. Thank you for allowing me.
do a thing.
I did a little
Chris,
thing.
don't let me. Will you just let me mess with him for a minute?
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Black Ops 4 confirmed.
Yeah.
Activision has made it official. Black Ops 4 will be coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on Friday, October 12th. Huh. There will be a community reveal on May 17th that will dive into more. Treyarch will develop the game. However, little is known about the campaign, story, multiplayer, etc. It has been suggested, though, that the game will tone down its sci-fi elements significantly. Let's hope it just goes back to like Vietnam. I'd be totally cool with that.
We'll see. Like you made a hunt on that release date.
Yeah, that's big.
Do you think they know about maybe another game, or they just don't feel?
I think they know there's a game that's coming out October 26th, which would have been a week before their game came out, and they know already that Battlefield is coming out. I think like the 15th. So I think they decided to say screw it. But
it's like November. Call of Duty's gone now.
Yeah, well, I think they're basically. I think, like I said, a lot of people are going to make some sort of adjustment to not be anywhere near Red Dead. Because Rockstar's...
He really thinks that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, when I talked to... Me and Jeff talked about this, and we were like, I don't think you guys realize, like, that is the game people are anticipating. Rockstar is Rockstar. And when you say, like, the first one sold between somewhere like 10 and 15 million... plus like the side DLC that they put out by itself, which was
nothing like some good side
DLC. Very well received. Like
that all combined for 10 million.
Yeah. Anyways, that's 10 million on the very first game of that series. Like back in 2010. That's after now they've released GTA 5, which has sold 80 million there. It's kind of like how far Fallout 3 went and was very well received, but did not sell anywhere near as well as Skyrim did. But because of how well it was received and how well Skyrim was received, it came up as being the biggest hype game of 2016 in the fall. And look what happened to old freaking dang it, the game we both love, that Dishonored 2, releasing the same day. It got completely buried in the weeds, and it didn't need to. I think everyone's looking at Call of Duty. I remember the last time when GTA 5 came out, they mocked them a little bit, or like they teased them a little bit after they broke all those records on release day. And they said, enjoy the record. We'll take it back in 5 weeks. 5 weeks came later. They did not take it back because, Rockstar knows how to roll out things. They know how to promote.
Here's the thing. If Call of Duty and Red Dead 2 hypothetically came out on the same day,
yeah,
who would you bet? I can't believe he's actually thinking about it.
I know.
That's a hard one.
It's really not.
Is it really though?
It's really not.
Because you say that it's Rockstar.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can say it's Rockstar, but then again, you can say it's GTA.
It's kind of like...
It's not... I'm not suggesting that other titles don't sell well, because they do, but we're talking about GTA 5. That's a title that Rockstar may never sell that quality units ever again. That is a once-in-a-lifetime deal for almost any title out there. I don't think Call of Duty would be in danger of losing its title for Red Dead.
I think though it could do serious damage to them, which is what they're saying. If you put that same scenario, if you're Activision, right, the goal is to make the most money you can off of this thing.
Yeah,
if I put this thing out a week after Rockstar puts their game out, I have to worry about the fact that there's going to be a bunch of people who go out and buy this game that normally would have bought Call of Duty, and they go, one, I'm still playing this game, and two, I just spent $60 on a game last week. So now they decide to basically say, I'll hold off. It doesn't mean they won't eventually get it, right? But if you're Activision, you want them to get it on day one, because that's where you guarantee you're going to get the most money out of them. I think that's really what it is. It's not the fact, like, I don't think this game will sell 80 million. I mean, that's just unfair to think of that on anyone.
20 million?
But definitely, yes, I think it could be a game that sells 20 to 30 million.
He really believes that.
And I will not be surprised.
I think you're out of your mind.
I mean, are you going to play the game? Do you have you have more interest in playing Red Dead Redemption than you ever have had with the GTA
But I haven't
game.
played the first one, so why would I play this one?
But
you bought the first one.
Also, with the success of Call of Duty World War II, people understand that Call of Duty's made the right moves to make that franchise really fresh and fun again.
Sure.
And now a Black Ops 4 is coming out. So there's a big community that's going to be very excited about that game.
Yeah, plus, the hardcore will buy in.
Plus, my prediction is that this game, the reason we don't know that much about it is because they're working on a Battle Royale mode.
Ooh,
I bet you that's in this title.
And that, Chris, will be a game changer.
Now, the thing we'll also see, though, is I'm willing to bet you Rockstar, they're going to turn around. They will have a more. They had Red Dead on.
better.
They had a Red Dead online on the last one because that was kind of like the precursor to GTA Online. There'll be the equivalent of GTA Online for them, and that will be the other thing. That will be the cash cow that keeps them coming, and that's all they care about. But yeah, it's clear people are making plans. I think at least, and if there's no other explanation I can come up, why the heck they would release on October 12th? Why? Why would you switch?
I thought October was their month to do.
No.
It's
Yeah.
always November.
Yeah, they've always been the
Usually
first Tuesday in November.
Like the 4th, the 3rd, something
Yeah.
like that.
It could be more of the year over year declining sales. I mean, there was an uptick this year, I think,
Sure.
but I think they're just trying to.
To keep
I think
maybe
they're just
the
trying to
uptick.
get them. I think they're trying to get out of their own way.
But why would you do that with their biggest title? I mean, like, to me, if you're going to stay in November, which I think they should, because no one has ever gone into November outside of past Call of Duty. Like, you just know the first Tuesday of the month, that's Call of Duty Day. You make sure you don't schedule
Maybe they're getting out of Smash's day.
Or what
Smash's way.
What if Overwatch? Aren't they Activision Blizzard?
They are, but they don't have anything huge.
I'm saying they got.
Huge.
What if there's something?
Huge.
What if there's something down the pipe we don't know about Overwatch?
It's possible. I don't think they would do that, though. Like, and
I don't
that's not really what they do.
That's
like,
what EA does.
Yeah, exactly. You know who is getting out of the way of everyone, though? Days Gone.
God.
I'm really upset, but
Yeah. If you're wondering why you haven't heard too much about Days Gone, well, now you know. Days Gone has been delayed officially to 2019, according to Sony. The official website is now reflecting the updated release window. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic zombie world and is notable due to its impressive crowd physics.
See, those crowd physics are the reason why, if it was coming out this year,
Sure.
it would probably be my most anticipated game.
Ooh.
I wanted to. I've been.
wanna play this
I want to
game.
get my hands on this game.
yeah.
So
If I were them, I would take the hat turned backwards on that guy
Mhm.
and just get rid of it, because this is not 1993.
So would you? Oh wait.
What if he turns it
Hypothetical.
around?
I got hypothetical now.
Mhm.
You said that would be most likely your anticipated. So if they had gone ahead and also put out The Last of Us Part 2 this year, what
Well,
would
they
you
are.
have? I mean, they say they are.
Oh, you think he's going to delay it again?
I'm not saying it will, but I will wait until I see it kind of more cemented in.
You'll probably
Well,
like
with
Celeste better
with,
than it anyway.
with Last of Us, you kind of know what you're going to get a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
they might surprise you.
Sure.
But this one was like the E3 trailers with like hundreds clustered zombies coming at you. You know, say what you want about the zombies genre and how it's maybe
Say what
overplayed
you
its
mean to
hand,
say.
but this one is introducing a new combat idea,
Mhm.
and maybe Left 4 Dead is something similar, but
I was going to
It
say
just-
Dead Rising.
Dead
it
Rising.
seemed very fresh.
Yeah,
like
it
the
did.
guy,
Yeah.
the setting, the graphics, the crowd, everything seemed really.
Yeah.
I didn't care it was another zombie game, and I cannot wait to play it. So
Yeah.
Speaking of Naughty Dog, by the way, Neil Druckmann has been promoted to Vice President of Naughty Dog.
Grats.
From a statement by Evan Wells, the studio president, he said, quote, in recognition for his expanded role contributing on critical studio level decisions, Neil Druckmann is now vice president of Naughty Dog. He's been a vital part of management for some time now, and we're proud to formally acknowledge his involvement. It has been confirmed he is still serving as creative director on Last of Us Part 2.
if I were to make a movie of Neil Druckmann's life,
Mhm.
I would put it in
Would
the
you play
form.
Neil Druckmann?
No, I would put it in the form of that Kevin Spacey show on Netflix,
House of Cards?
House of Cards,
Huh.
because you watch the guy go from congressman to VP to president,
What?
just sort of maneuvering his way through Naughty Dog. I mean, he starts with what? Let's say we first hear of him, Last of Us. Then he weasels first when he really becomes notable.
Yeah.
He
Uncharted
becomes
Part 2.
okay, man.
That's his first one he wrote.
But my point still remains the same. He sort of weasels his way and just squeezes people out.
Yeah.
He's kind of image-wise, he seems a little bit sleazy. I mean, what's
He's like the nicest guy ever.
what's the guy?
I don't know.
What's the lady that he pretty much
Amy
Hennig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably sitting there going,
Well, it's I mean
"Who do you have to D over
Richard
get a
over.
VP spot. I mean, he just seems to be
Yeah.
I don't
sneaking
know.
his way.
To me, it just seems like a guy who, like,
What if
he's been consistently successful. Like, Uncharted came out, and that was Amy Hennig, and then he came on, did the writing for the second one. Everyone was like, "Oh wow, that's really great." Then he left to work with the other guy to do Last of Us, and contributed a little bit to the story for Uncharted 3. And Uncharted 3 did well, but it wasn't like, I don't think it went to a level that they were kind of hoping to. And then Last of Us comes out, and it's the biggest hit Naughty Dog game they've ever had. It's like,
exactly.
what do you want?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it gave this guy the opportunity to just start to squeeze people out and inject himself into every project. Look, the guy's ambitious. Hands off to him.
Yeah.
I'm just making a joke about House of Cards, which was apparently lost on everybody. But the point is, he just seems to be...
It was terrible.
It was pretty bad.
We're kidding.
He can't take it.
Fine.
He's fine.
Much like Kevin Spacey.
You got to wonder, though. I don't know the world, right? When we think about our corporate careers, some people are promoted by a hard work ethic, right?
Sure.
And time and things like that. There are some people who are part of big projects and then they become a notable name in the company.
Sure.
I feel like Naughty Dog's corporation's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I see John's point where it's like this guy is kind of like he said, I don't know if weasel's the right word, more like a snake in the grass. But
All I know is
what you-
Amy Hennig doesn't have a job right now.
No, but look how well
the best writer, one of the best writers in the industry, can't find work, and it started here.
Sure.
It started here.
But they would say, he would turn around and say, like, yeah, but look how well Uncharted 4 did. And that's kind of the thing he can kind of point to, and that's the position he puts Naughty Dog in. Same like Kojima back in the day. It's like
John loved Kojima too, though. So I see where this is coming from.
It's like you have someone who consistently not only makes games that are critically praised, but also make them a ton of money. And it's like when you become that, you become something where if you're Naughty Dog, that's a liability, right? You have to make a decision. Either you are okay with Neil Druckmann walking away from your company because you think we'll find someone else, or you go, that's a once in a lifetime talent in terms of creating new content. We need to do whatever we can to keep this man and make him happy. And they might not have felt that way with Amy Hennig, which I feel bad for. But, apparently, at least you could argue that it seems to be the kind of games she wants to make necessarily aren't the ones that studios right now are clamoring to do with the unfortunate stuff that happened at EA recently. I love her games, but, it is what it is. It's business. It's kind of the way I view it. So,
No, you heard me talk about this with Uncharted 4. I think we lost something with Uncharted 4.
Sure.
We got
I loved it.
and plenty of people did.
Yeah.
But plenty of people were critical of the fact that it was a mixture of a serious tone. It tried to balance a serious tone with a whimsical protagonist. And I think it lost some narrative life.
I get what you're saying.
Was it a lost legacy?
One could say that.
But again, it made tons of money.
But it's not
That's
funny.
all they care about is like the look they say, whenever that guy touches something, it makes money. And if I'm a Naughty Dog,
Does he have a Midas
because
touch?
like imagine if he left and like Phil Spencer says, hey, I will give you whatever you want to come build your own studio here at Microsoft. That's the kind of thing, if you're Naughty Dog, you have to leverage against. That's not an easy thing to do.
I want to make clear, and you're talking to me as if I'm somehow making a case that he's not economically viable.
Oh,
He
no,
never
no.
said that.
Yeah.
I'm saying
But we did jump
we
to that
know what
conclusion.
we know what we
got the
know.
undertone.
Yeah.
You assume things that may or may not have happened about Kojima, so let me assume things that may or may not have happened with Neil Druckmann.
Sure. I mean, Kojima also
Fair
made
game.
a game that sold 6 million and then
Hey,
got fired.
I just want to once again give a grats to Mr. Druckmann,
yeah.
like you would in
Yeah,
a
you
party
earned it.
chat.
Screw that guy.
Fortnite comes to mobile.
Yeah, we heard about this first.
Epic Games has announced its free Fortnite Battle Royale mode will be available to play on iOS and Android. Most importantly, you'll be able to play with the other players on other platforms. One exclusion on that: if you're PS4, you will not be playing with Xbox One folks, and vice versa. Starting Monday, March 12th, players can sign up for the iOS Invite event with invitations to be sent soon after. I think they said like they had originally hoped to send them out today, but it's gotten kicked back from what I'm saying because I'm sure there's a lot of demand.
Sean, how does this work?
I don't know.
You can't because you guys have played the game. I can't imagine how this works on mobile.
I don't know.
I don't know either, Sean. That's why I'm asking you.
Mobile games, I disconnect with a lot of them. Save like Words with Friends or Candy Crush type games, because games like this, I'm so used to having a joystick and buttons.
Screen,
you know.
Well, you'll screen.
He's got it.
Well, you'll screen.
Don't worry about that screen.
Calm down on that screen. I'll make it.
It's
a point,
always been
John.
there.
And when things black out, you got to just keep going with it, man. Power through until it comes back on, man.
That sounded a little.
Why did you just turn into like redneck down a dirt road?
Because I'm trying to stay positive, man.
You said when things
just
black
trying to live
out,
my life,
you just
man.
keep on going.
Yeah.
When things just black out, you just got to keep on going.
You gotta just go. When the lights cut off, man, you still keep going because they're going to come back on.
Because Jesus is still up there.
I'm redneck positive guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kind of like.
I if it comes with buttons, like if there's a button pack, I might play it.
I bet. Well, there are those packs you can get that have the attachments, like you put your phone in and it will do, add buttons and all that. I guess like maybe you would do it where if it uses like a gyroscope, so you can use that to turn around. Then
that's an important facet of this game.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. I mean,
You said gyroscope.
Is it something I would say? Is it the most like important thing ever? No. Like I could also see like, if you're going to play on your iPad, where if you can have an accessory to connect a mouse and you've got a keyboard, there you go. That's how you're going to play the game, right? You're going to play it like it's a PC. So it's not a huge problem.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We know one guy who's getting this for sure.
Of course he is.
I don't know. I
don't know how you're going to play Mario Kart on mobile. So
It's going to be hacked like Mario Run was. No offense to people who like Mario Run. That just wasn't fun to me.
you're hack.
I know.
You take that box off.
Chris, you beat it in like a week.
I did. It wasn't that hard. But actually getting the coins.
That's hard as
the black
crud.
coins are hard.
Jeez.
I hate it.
I don't know. We'll see. It is cool they're doing the cross-platform.
It is cool.
I feel like, again, it kind of just demonstrates that
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. And the fact that the only two consoles that will not speak to each other are Xbox and PlayStation, kind of when they're going to speak to everyone else, kind of tells you what's going on. But it is what
You
it
tell
is.
PlayStation that I said, "Oh yeah." Well, you tell Microsoft that I said,
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. PUBG is the third largest selling game on Steam. Gabe Newell briefly mentioned the title during a press presentation about new Dota 2 card game Artifact. Quote, so PUBG and come out of pretty much nowhere. Okay. So PUBG came out pretty much of nowhere and became the third largest
tried to
selling.
edit it, just-
Yeah, no, it still was terrible. Became the third largest selling game on Steam history. Their gross revenue over all time is already number 3 in fairly short order. That's smart comment if you're Gabe Newell to make, because it's basically telling everyone like, come keep putting your games out on my system or my platform.
Yeah.
Make me money.
Yeah.
And you'll make money.
Yeah.
And then we're all rich.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
That's how that works, John.
Right?
Hey, and scare money don't make money.
Ain't got no money. Ain't gonna be nobody. What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just did, but I liked it.
Rest in peace, Craig Mack.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Flavor in Your Ear.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Yeah.
You
And
know-
the remix.
Yeah. He died.
"Who?
Yeah.
Craig Mack.
Go check out Flavor in Your Ear.
Who?
Come
Flavor?
back.
Flavor in your ear?
That's Flava.
Flava. Flava in your ear.
In your ear, yeah.
Yeah.
Flava.
What does it mean?
It's
It-
music.
it meant-
music in your ears.
I feel like when he signed him,
It's a brand new flavor in your ear. It was a thing.
when Diddy signed him and they put that album out, the first thing I thought of, I was like, oh, Diddy must have finally listened to Wu-Tang and wants to make that record.
Well, what happened was,
happened
then all of a sudden, B.I.G. becomes who he becomes.
Yep.
And Craig Mack, while still good, it's just he wasn't Biggie.
Well, he said he retired. Like he did a second album and
He's
then
like-
he became like a Christian pastor, him and Mace.
yeah, he's like, I made
Just
flavor in your
ruined
ear.
great careers.
And now,
I'm good. I've made
And
the
now-
flavor for your year. So I'm done.
Hashtag rip.
Also, speaking of Valve,
What?
they are going to ship games again.
We weren't talking about Valve.
We were. because it's Gabe Newell. Gabe Newell has said
Bringing it back, Chris.
that Valve is going to start shipping games again. Quote, Artifact is the first of several games that are going to be coming from us, so that's sort of a good news. Valve has made its name with classic games such as Half-Life, Portal, and Counter-Strike hardware. Looks to be part of the future too. Quote, we aren't going to be talking about it today, but sort of the big thing that the new arrow we have in our quiver,
Ooh.
yeah, right, is the ability to develop hardware and software simultaneously. He compared the approach to Nintendo, who designed software with hardware in mind, and vice versa.
I like the fact that we were able to say vice versa and reference a new arrow in a quiver.
I wonder if this means now, though, that I bet he might have said this basically to kind of come back and say, like, look, all those rumors of Microsoft purchasing people, the ones
Shut
with
it
us
down.
are not real.
Shut
we
it
are
down.
making stuff.
I
Do
agree.
not worry about it.
And that's, he said it in a nice way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way you say it. And hell, me and everyone wants Half-Life 3 as far as fans of that series. So
I just want to get
will-
past the first stage
or
of Portal.
3. See,
'Cause
you're
I'm dumb.
You're dumb, which is why you're not playing this week's topic.
No, I wouldn't play that piece. I mean, that great game anyway, Chris.
9.5 out of 10, Richard.
Doesn't mean a thing. I mean, just saying.
John, are you going to get any of these games?
You like Celeste too.
Are you getting any of these new Valve games when they come out?
I can't imagine what they would be.
Well, probably Portal and Half-Life and Counter-Strike.
Oh, does that mean okay? He's just going to reship stuff.
I'm sure he'll make new iterations. He
iterations.
should also make a new Team Fortress, which actually would be really good right now because Overwatch is pretty much Team Fortress.
Oh, did you just call them a copy person thing?
They definitely took the whole entire team gameplay thing. That comes
Blizzard's
directly
never
from them.
not stolen, but taken an idea and made it better.
True.
I'm lying. See, because World of Warcraft, see?
Or PUBG,
They didn't steal
Fortnite.
anything. They invent everything. It didn't exist until they did it. They're the greatest. They're huge. Speaking of huge, Trump meets with video game heads and advocates against entertainment violence. Dun, dun, dun. The long talked about meeting on video game violence between the Trump administration and various advocate groups against video game violence took place this last week. Included in the discussion were Take-Two Interactive, ZeniMax Media, and the ESA, as well as Parents Television Council, Missouri Representative Vicky Hartzler, Senator Mark Rubio, and the Media Research Center, among others. The meeting opened up with a sizzle reel highlighting violence in video games, and the meeting was closed to the press but described by attendees as vigorous but respectful.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, right. That's some speak. Following the meeting, the ESA released a statement saying, quote, we welcome the opportunity to meet with the president and our elected officials at the White House. We discussed the numerous scientific studies established that there are no connection between video games and violence, First Amendment protection of video games, and how our industry's rating system effectively helps parents make informed entertainment choices. We appreciate the president's receptive and comprehensive approach to this discussion. That's also very political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super political.
Did you watch the sizzle reel?
No, I don't want to watch sizzle reels that
It was
that happened at White House meetings.
it was quite weird to watch. It was just because it's like the very,
Was it produced very well though? I'd imagine it would be.
I was like, they could have picked some better games.
I watched it, and I've been meaning to say announcement today. I'm never playing video games again.
All right, well, John, it was great having you.
Because I realize I'm part of the problem.
You are part of the
You
problem.
know, and
I always knew you
you're
were.
going to be missed. I wish you well in your endeavors.
I'm interested to see how you do
Special
with
endeavor.
I'm very interested to see how you do in your pacifist run of Breath of the Wild here and Evil Within.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, didn't vote for the guy,
No.
but I wish people would stop making this about Trump because I think Obama would have been just as capable
Oh, he did it.
of bringing this to the forefront.
Yeah.
This is not a conversation that is exclusive to one party.
Yeah.
Never has been.
But-
Every party over the past
right.
30 years has used this
You're right.
as a way to distract people.
There were quite a few hypocrites I watched last week where like they have been people that have been very critical voices. I mean, not even like when the attention is on video games per se for violence, but just like they are advocates of reducing violence in video games all the time. And now all of a sudden, because Trump got in on this, they decided they needed to take an opposition stance to the fact that he also wants to bring it up. And I agree. Like, Obama did the exact same thing after Newtown. Everyone needs to remember, like, they didn't go as extreme as publishing it, you know, and saying those kind of things, but he held a council with the ESA and our groups after Newtown to go over violence in video games and various forms of media.
And I'd just like to point out that the games media didn't feel the need to release a video, which released today, about the positivity in video games. It was a message directly aimed at as a response to Trump's video.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, nice point, I guess. What are you doing again? I mean, we all understand that there's good fluffy feelings in video games, but that doesn't take away from the fact that there's some if you want to find it, you can find some pretty sadistic content.
It's just like the internet.
Sure.
It's not suggesting that the studies are what they are, but
I mean,
but this same industry gives platform to certain culture critics who say that these types of games promote toxic masculinity.
Sure.
So how can you have one that you reject, but another one that basically is fundamentally psychologically the same, and accept one? You're rejecting one here, but accepting another one here.
I agree. It's like, to me, it's about sitting there and saying,
all this is about is political self-interest from every side.
To me, it's like
every side.
The discussion should be like, well, how can we do better? Not what can we force upon each other?
Yeah, I'm fine with you promoting nonviolence in video games.
Sure.
I just don't want a law that prevents me from making a violent video game.
Agreed. I definitely
with murder, blood, guts, and rape.
Well, that goes with any type of media or whatever.
If I want
creation.
it in my game, you don't have a right to tell me what to do.
Exactly. They can tell you, like, if you sell it on the market, what a rating has to be on it or something like that, or what's required of people in stores. Stores might say, if you're going to make this kind of game, we have the right to say it goes behind the shelf and we're not going to promote it with great things. And you, as the person making the game, have the right to say, well, then I'm not selling it in your store.
Did you hear John just say he wanted rape in his video games?
Well, no, if that's taken out of context, that's crazy.
We'll get a letter.
No, but it was if the story narrative.
We already got one.
If the story narrative calls for that to make a better impact, or the impact the director wants to make on that story, and it needs to be in there. And look, places like Publix will cover up like a magazine that they feel
exactly. They do it all the time.
So if that, like, and piggybacking on what you said, if they need to do that kind of stuff, that's fine. But just don't make it, like John said, to where they don't have that right.
There's a first. I mean, I think the big thing is what the ESA point out. The Supreme Court has already ruled on that this is protected by First Amendment free speech rights. So, people want to. I get it. It's a scapegoat. It will always get brought up.
Yeah.
The important thing is that if we ever see it going to a point where it's more than just, hearsay speak for a couple of weeks to try to get off whatever issue they don't want to focus on.
That would
if
be
it goes to another,
yeah.
If it goes to another point where you start to see legislation actually being introduced and potentially approved by Congress, that people need to take a stand and say, look, you do this kind of thing, I'm not going to vote for you. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. It fundamentally bothers me when somebody calls the NRA a terrorist organization or murderers. Mm-hmm. But simultaneously, it bothers me when the NRA pivots and tries to blame video games.
Sure.
It's just hypocrisy on both sides. Everybody's circling their own wagons, including the video game industry.
It's just a big circle. I hope it just
circle
doesn't.
Circle.
I hope it doesn't affect when we finally get our Oasis.
Really? I really want to go there.
Don't you really want an Oasis, though? Wouldn't
I
that
do.
be the best?
And I want to be able to murder you every 5 seconds in it. What?
I'll reset my avatar and come after you.
I will make sure blood is turned on.
We are turning. John has no idea what we're talking about.
Exactly. He's never been.
He may know.
He doesn't even know about Columbus, Ohio. What?
Whoa. Whoa. Stacks on stacks on stacks.
State of Decay 2.
My brother always made me be player 2.
That was John's way of telling us he knew what we were talking about.
It's how he knew.
I was always Luigi.
He was trying to say he was never loved.
RPO.
I was always Skeletor. I could never be He-Man.
What's wrong with being Luigi? You get cool white pants and a green shirt and a green mustache. What's not to love?
He doesn't get Princess Peach.
So, you don't know that. He might on the side. What? What?
You seen how many people she's been with in that game? State of Decay 2 gets a release day and price.
I'm not following
Microsoft.
Bowser.
What?
That's funny. I mean, it's got to be huge, right?
Yeah, it's got to be huge.
It's just walking
Following
through.
Bowser.
This is like a Family Guy, like, you know what? Stewie's like, after I came through, it's just wide alleys.
I'm done. Done. Speaking of Decay,
Microsoft is finally pulling back the curtain on its sequel to the hit 2013 game. The game from Undead Labs will be released on May 22nd, 2018 for $29.99 on the Standard Edition or a $49.99 Ultimate Edition. That includes access to the game 4 days ahead of standard release and 2 add-on packs, which will both be available at a later release date, as well as a free copy of the first game.
I like that.
Additionally, like all Microsoft exclusives, the game will be available on day one for Xbox Game Pass subscribers.
Yeah, this is gonna be their thing now.
Yeah,
we said it. This is the beginning of Xbox Game Pass,
and I have to say, it's like I'm probably gonna get that next week. And then the other thing that happened as soon as this came out, like as John and I have been talking about, they partnered with IGN and kind of finally did their big gameplay reveal. Like they had not shown any real gameplay; they just shown videos of stuff, and they showed the 4-player co-op stuff. And I have to say, after watching this, I was like, for $10 a month, I'm in on that. And it kind of looks like PUBG a little bit meets Fortnite in the middle. Like it's not really cartoony, but it's not 100% realistic. It's like kind of hue as far as the colors look very much like PUBG, especially like at sunset, those parts.
Yeah.
And just the idea of running around with 4 friends, killing zombies.
Are you? Are you inception / recruiting me right now?
You go
on air.
You run around with 4 friends, kill zombies, and get gear, and then build up a base trying to survive the night. Look, I can even get him on this because this is his kind of game. He's played it, and there's a single player mode that you can do it for too. John, come on. The first one was fun.
Look, the moment that
right, it was amazing. Wait, what?
I was like, I realized when I got the Xbox One X, I submitted a code for a free month of Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Then it charged me again, and I was like, oh crap, I got to cancel this. But then I'm like, no,
I got 100 games.
I think I need to. I think I need to pay $9 a month to play Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is giving me an opportunity to not really question my purchase options, and it's saving me some money. And Lord knows we need it for this show.
Like, yeah, especially like thing like
it's an expensive show.
You and I mean, think of it like this: we're gonna play Sea of Thieves next week for $9.99 now.
Will you play with me?
We could play.
Okay.
You gonna play?
He can't.
You can play. You can play it on your PC.
Can he play with us on his PC?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this, John.
Xbox crossplay between PC and Xbox.
Yeah, John. See,
please stop throwing your education in my face.
Saying,
you can actually see if Casey wants to play too.
Oh.
Who's Casey?
Ouch.
What?
Screw
Ouch.
Batman.
Dang.
What's up, Casey?
But yeah, you think like we're gonna pay $9.99 for that, and then that way
Wait.
it's not a huge deal when
you keep saying it. So I go sign up for $9.99.
Yes.
And I get quote unquote Xbox Game Pass, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden I'm playing Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Yes, that's how it works, man.
You're welcome, Phil.
So you get that, but think about it. Like you get that, but then
You
John
get a
and I can
library.
turn around the next week where we have to buy Far Cry 5, which will be a $60 game. And because we didn't have to spend $60 the week before, we only spent $9.99. It's not as much of a burden. And then eventually when they all fold
This is
and they go to
giving
Game
me
Pass.
this is giving me more freedom to buy a Kirby game,
Yes.
which I am so excited
Oh.
about.
Dude, I'm stoked.
You are the only two.
I don't think that's true.
There's no reviews out because you're the only two people that are going to review.
I don't think that's true either. And I also think that the Kirby guys
Mm-hmm.
will whip the tactical guys in physical combat. Or
Kirby couldn't eat my Richards D.
no, I don't mean Kirby. I mean the people playing Kirby would destroy the tactical people in, let's say, like a double dare type challenge.
All he does is eat.
I just need somebody to tell me when the reviews drop. I can't figure it out. I've been looking and looking and looking.
And yet you're not worried.
And Chris always knows when reviews are dropping. He just always knows. And today he didn't know.
I was reading
Because
earlier.
it's not on his radar. He don't care.
Well, now I thought the game for some reason was coming out today, so I was like, why are reviews not? I was like, oh, it's not coming out till Friday.
Yeah.
They go back and forth. Like, they're big things. They usually like let the reviews go weeks early.
6 months in advance. You already.
But things like this, I mean, I don't want to discourage or say it's going to be bad. I don't know. But usually, like the things that they're not like hyping to level 10, it's usually like 1 or 2 days before. So I wouldn't be surprised if they drop tomorrow. I definitely wouldn't be surprised. Or else Thursday at the latest.
Hey, John, we're playing it no matter what.
Kirby's adorable.
Well, speaking of
I told
Nintendo,
you.
The demo was pretty good.
You didn't. I'm not going to let you finish till you say it right.
well, I mean, I was leading into it. Finally this week. What was that one?
That was after 3.
The third time was just,
I mean,
then you just roll over.
I watched Nintendo Direct
I did
last
too.
week.
I did
I
too.
have nothing left.
Well, finally this week.
Wait,
I'm dry. I'm dry. It's all.
Nintendo Direct. There was a Nintendo Direct
It
last
was.
week. I believe it was on March 8th is when it aired.
or you can just go to YouTube right now and
You
watch
could,
it.
yeah. You can watch it at any point.
If
don't
you
even
haven't, you
listen
need to.
us.
It was
Just go
really.
watch it.
It was really good.
It's one of the best directs. It's one of the best directs you could possibly get outside of an E3.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Well, what was announced, let me tell you, Super Smash Bros. Is finally coming to the Switch this year, and it will have Inklings. Splatoon 2 is getting story DLC called Octo. Switch ports like Crash Bandicoot, Undertale, and Okami HD, as well as South Park The Fractured Butthole. Dark Souls is getting a Solaire of Astora amiibo. WarriorWare will be back with over 300 mini-games. Original Luigi's Mansion is coming to the 3DS. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is also coming to Switch. Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story is being remade for 3DS. Octopath Traveler, the game from Squaresoft, it will be out on July 13th.
Looks amazing.
And Mario Tennis Aces will be
Yes.
coming to Switch on June 22nd.
John and I will be getting that game on June 22nd.
Jeez, that game. Wow.
Wow. Comes out.
Wow.
6.5 out of 10. These two guys.
No,
screw
it's
that
good.
game.
It's going to be great. The Smash Brothers, the way they dropped that little
yeah.
tidbit.
That had
I
some
mean,
of the. That
who was
was
surprised, though?
That was it's not about
Yeah.
the surprise.
Well-
It's they drop it right after they're talking about
The
Splatoon 2
story DLC.
expansion. So you've
Yeah.
got and they introduce it like it's more Splatoon. You've got the orange Inkling girl running around shooting her goo.
the blue, I guess the blue
that how you
Inkling
called
boy.
it?
Then she
It's called
stops.
They're fighting. Yeah.
She stops and she turns around and it zooms into her eye, and in the ocular of her eye, it's got that
Does the
Super
logo.
Smash Simbo.
Simbo. Hold Simbo.
And then you see.
Then you
Mario.
see the crew.
Yeah.
And it looks like Link is sporting the Breath of the Wild outfit.
Well, that makes sense.
Dope.
And there's speculation that while
You can play Splatoon in Link of the Wild. In Link of the Wild.
are you my wife?
Your wife.
Stop finishing my sentences.
It's my thing with you. You
I
love it.
I love you.
You love it.
But it's like there's speculation that this, while it probably uses the blueprint of Smash Wii U, that this
Sure.
is an entirely new game.
I can't see that. I think it's probably. I mean, it might
We'll
be.
see.
It'll. I think it'll be like kind of like how Mario Kart 8 was, like where it's like, look,
No.
we're gonna polish this and make it look as nice as possible on the system.
You might be right.
And
but
we're
I
gonna
don't-
add. We're gonna make sure we include everything you got before, and we're gonna add some nice things to give you incentive to come back, and that's fine.
The
I mean,
reason I don't think it is because of how he said they introed it. They really, it reminded me of the excitement level I got when they showed the Metro Prime, the 4 thing. It was just the way they did it. It was really, really cool.
I can't say the only announcement on here that really got me perked up was the fact that Captain Toad, and I was like, I don't know if it's if it's just a port of the Wii U game or if it's a new Captain Toad game.
It's not
That
new,
would-
but it's got
yeah.
all kinds of stuff in it
Yeah.
that the original didn't have.
Yeah, if they're bringing, I love Captain Toad. That's a great game.
Like you said, we don't know exactly, but there's a couple
Also
of
Octopath.
indicators. Number one, the director of all the games
Sure.
announced after the direct that he's returning for the Switch sequel. So there's
the way they're saying
the way
certain
that's
things, yeah.
phrased is a little strange. And then
I feel like they would have said remade for the Switch,
Yeah,
or something like that.
Like I said, I think they built an engine, so maybe it is. Maybe they're updating it a little bit graphically. I can't imagine though. Like, it's not like to me. It's not gonna be like a.
it's been it came out in 2014. If you think about it, it's been
Sure.
a while.
Came out in 2014. Was it 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was like 2015.
Let's see. The main reason is that Wii U came out in 2014.
Okay.
There have been a lot of DLC in the months following launch.
I don't know. If it does, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, it's a fighting game.
Either way, it's going to be fantastic. But
Sure.
there's also the argument that it's that they're releasing this, and it could be an argument why it's maybe a tweak like a deluxe version.
Sure.
This is probably going to release simultaneously with the online service. It would
that
make
makes
sense.
Unless they've been working on it the whole time.
What?
Right. Unless, because they drop, little nuggets like this, man.
Yeah.
Also,
but speaking of Splatoon,
yeah, some DLC.
that it's not just DLC. It's like it's a $20 expansion. It's a completely new single player campaign with the Octos. You finish the campaign. You can now play in the multiplayer with the Octo characters. So that's a big deal.
I thought the story was fun.
No, the single player campaign was definitely fun.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Like I would have loved if your progress in that one carried over to unlocking guns in the main competitive mode, because like that by the end of that you're using so many things.
I may not like this game, but I cannot wait to at least play and see Octopath Traveler. I know you mentioned.
Yeah, I would. That's a game
looks
that
so cool.
if John wants to just give me his Switch for a month, I'll gladly use it to play that game, because that looks like it's right up my alley.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I love the art style and everything of that game.
I've always been waiting for that one JRPG game to get me to jump in. Maybe this is it.
There's been 50 of them.
You need to get
I know
Xenoblade
it.
2.
Go play Chrono Trigger.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
That's really deep. That's a deep game.
That's very deep.
I tried to play the first one. It was just kind of over my head.
Final Fantasy 3. There you go. Or 6, however you want to phrase it. There you go.
But yeah, very solid direct.
Yeah.
Which leads me to, that was in March, and then they're going to probably have a direct in June, right? Around E3, you would think?
That's probably the next one.
Yeah.
Unless they have
So some of this stuff is maybe updated, and then there's
And
even
they
more
showed
announcements.
off Detective Pikachu as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. But no mention of Yoshi. I was surprised.
Hmm.
I don't really know why they wouldn't mention it unless it's just being delayed.
Or it's going to be announced at E3.
And so,
they have a little bit
Maybe.
more.
I don't know.
But Mario Tennis Aces,
Dude,
Chris, I don't know if you saw it. It looked incredible.
I'll tell you what. I'm holding judgment because I remember the last Mario Tennis everyone was building up, and then when it came out, everyone was like, "This is meh."
no, you're talking about Mario Party right now.
No. There's
That was,
No,
Yeah.
yeah, Mario
It was-
Tennis on the 3DS.
yeah.
I
like,
have that game. Aiden, to his, in defense, he played the heck out of it,
sure.
and I think they paid attention to that title. I mean, it looks like a pound for pound, 500% improvement on that game. Plus, it has a story mode.
You go back like to classic Mario Tennis, like
like on
to
the
me,
GameCube.
yeah, like things that are not actually like tennis simulators, but they're just fun arcade tennis games like
Yeah.
that.
That's
and then
what we
the
want.
that and the Rockstar table tennis game that came out at the start of the
Whoa.
Xbox 360. Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Those are the two most addictive freaking to me like tennis games that I ever played back in the day. Well, I guess also the Mario Tennis,
Dude, Super
or the
Tennis
Wii,
for me
Wii Tennis
was the jam.
yeah.
I mean, this has a scenario where you can build up your returns to where you can get so hyped that you can break your opponent's paddle, and there's
Ooh.
nothing that person
They
can
can
do.
block it.
Yeah, there is a block, but
Yeah.
you have to really time it perfectly.
On both
So-
end, you need to.
I hope there
one's
is.
one's like a build up aiming thing, so you can
Okay.
really hit precise power shots. But as the defender on the other side, you have to really anticipate that to block it or not. Your racket could kind of break in half. And John, I'll be honest, when I saw all that going on, I was kind of like,
That could be good or bad, yeah.
But they also said for the traditional people, you can turn that feature off and
Yeah,
play
you
just
can play
classic.
just
Which
straight
means you're going to get countered by everyone.
So yeah,
Well, that's cool.
I've never been more excited for a sports game. I gotta.
yeah.
not
John's
that it's-
excited for a sports game. Dude.
It's weird. I
Isn't
saw
that-
it.
Oh, sports game. Arcade sports game.
Yeah.
That's the way to say it. I feel like we need to differentiate. Like, that's not like, Pete Sampras and freaking.
Who the heck is Pete Sampras?
He now apparently has the second most Grand Slams ever after what's
Pete
his face.
Sampras.
I will come across this table.
No, you can't say Pete Samper.
Andre Agassi.
But yeah,
DeAndre Agassi.
Dijon mustard. What?
Finally, I missed Treasure Tracker on the Wii U, so I'm looking forward to picking that up.
You need to play
that.
that.
It was fun. And they also mentioned a little bit about ARMS, but I'm out.
Yeah.
I know you're in, but I'm out.
Look, I'm one of those guys that say port every hit Wii U game
Right.
and put it on the Switch. Just
Right.
dump it on the Switch. It ain't that. It doesn't take that much. You don't have to add new content. I'd love to see Super
They're like
Mario
over there,
3D
like,
World.
John, seriously. It does
No, no,
take
no.
much. It's not an easy thing.
we wanted Smash Brothers, and the other thing that I believe that Chris pointed out that would be great would be Mario Maker.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's
That's
not
going
there
to be
yet.
a good one when they bring it. If
I'm
they
sure it
decide
will
to put that
come.
over.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, they'll probably put that on mobile at some point too, right? They've got to.
That'd be a
Anyways,
good idea.
yeah, it makes sense to me.
Actually, you could
Especially with the tablet.
maybe you could do a Switch port that works with a mobile.
Sure.
I don't know. I just know that the fan base, the community of Mario Maker is still active and still out there.
Yeah,
People are still making. It's a great.
And now you can like come and say like, "Hey, we're putting in all those elements from Odyssey in here for your use." It's like,
Yeah.
why not?
True.
We want to wrap this up.
Never.
Email.
We gotta get some sound effects.
We don't need no stinking sound effects.
Sound effects.
Low budget.
First up, let me click on. Yeah, Dano writes in. Don't say the full name, John. You might not want that out there.
Sorry. Please edit that out. I that was my fault.
Thanks, John.
Mark the
Thanks.
time.
132.
I
Protect
got
his
it. Yeah, I
identity.
got it. Anyways,
Do you have it? You didn't write it down.
Dano wrote it down. And he said, well, first he wrote it down, by the way, to weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com, where you can get your thoughts right on the air.
Possibly. Most likely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're desperate. Dano says, hello, guys. Thanks
Hey,
again for
Dano.
the shout out the other week. Truly appreciate it. Following up on the last message I said about digital games, how do you feel about not owning these games, such as only having a digital license to play, considering you are collectors of physical media? Does physical media matter to you at all? Thanks again for the read and a great podcast.
What?
Regards. Dano.
Yeah, well, what we early on, it was probably like before 50, episode 50, we talked about, I remember talking about the digital licenses and actually owning the thing. But just to hit on it again, I always want to own a copy of a game when I want to own the copy of it. You guys, and I'm running into that now, trying to pre-order Battle for Azeroth because I can't find a deluxe edition.
Nah.
A physical. There's only like the
They might not have put it out yet. Right?
And John, you like to have your physical stuff, but you're also adapting to more of the downloaded content now on your system. So
Times they are changing.
I think it's just preference. I know he asked how we feel, Chris.
Yeah, I think.
You said physical stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just a sign of the changing times. Like if you told people 10, 15 years ago, I think everyone would have been on board with physical media. But as people's libraries have grown,
And what's a library?
And such, it just comes down to the fact of people want access to things and they want ease of access. And there's nothing easier than not being able to, or not having to walk out your door and just click a button and it downloads, and 30, 40 minutes later, whatever it takes, you have it on your system and it's always there for you. Don't got to worry about disk getting scratched. Don't have to worry about taking disk in and out whenever you switch. You just hit the button and boom, you can play. That's really alluring, I think, to the majority of people out there. They're just also used to right now a scenario where they can trade games in as far as console games. So as that fades out or finds a way to transform, and maybe Game Pass is the way that happens, because people go, oh, I can just pay for a subscription. I don't have to worry about anything. If I don't like a game, I lost $9 on it basically for a month. Okay. Mm-hmm. as that changes, I think culture will change. And we've seen it with every other medium as far as entertainment is concerned. So it makes sense that it will eventually be that way for games.
Well, I used to be addicted to having those games in my possession on my shelf.
Until you made an amazing trade into GameStop.
That aside, it's starting to annoy me sometimes that I now have things on my shelf. But, you know,
he's turning into an old man.
I could take care of that for you in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, Chris will tighten that up.
Come back and it's just like a Zelda statue and that's it.
You didn't get the...
I'm talking about games specifically.
Did you get the statue from Breath of the Wild with the sword in it? Because I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Your sword was crooked, mine wasn't, right?
But at the same time...
With the dope rhyme?
But at the same time, I also want to trade... This is the way my mind works right now. I want to trade in Breath of the Wild and buy it digitally. Because I'm never going to trade that game. Well,
yeah.
I will, but it's a game I continuously want to have in my possession.
You always want to own it.
It's like, but right now, the way I shop economically, so if the deal is a physical copy,
you're going to,
I'll get the physical copy.
Makes sense.
But they keep sweetening the deals on these flash sales on the PlayStation and Xbox. And
just wait till he sees Steam.
Right.
First time.
I'm not going anywhere.
Humble Bundle now
I have
is the
3,000 games on Steam.
Got them all for $4.99.
But it's just
amazing.
like, but the only thing I'm concerned about, the only thing I'm concerned about, is the concept of ownership and how the law is going to define that. Because what you're, like he says, I mean, he alludes to the idea that you're simply buying a license. You don't own a thing.
Yeah.
And you're paying the exact amount of money for the license as you would for the physical copy that you own.
Sure.
So the market needs to figure this out.
I think it's doing fine, guys.
Yeah, I'm not really...
Leave the market alone on the games.
I'm not really worried about the PC market because for the most part, if a game is still around and active or the platform itself is, then you pretty much have it. Like, wow. If you bought your subscription back in 2004 or whatever, right?
Wow.
No, I'm talking in a good way. Calm down. But yeah, like when you have those instances, like something like that has been running for 13, 14 years now.
13.
And there's never been an issue with digital rights. Like Blizzard, Activision, they never done it because I think they understand if they were to, there would be a revolt. On the other hand, I definitely am not kidding myself that like, at least when PlayStation, I know it's not going to be the case with Microsoft, at least for the time being, but with PlayStation, especially whenever Sony announces PS5, that anything I bought digitally on PlayStation 4, there's a big freaking question. Will I be able to play it on PlayStation 5? And they have to answer that. Microsoft seems to be pointing to the idea that they will allow you to do it. That's at least the promise they've been making. So I hope Sony jumps on board too, and I hope Nintendo does too, because we're to a point. There's no reason why you should have to keep buying digital media licenses for things that aren't being updated. They're just being ported.
Yeah, I buy digital more than I do physical these days because most of the time the deals are digital.
Yeah, very true. Well, Aaron has wrote in and he says,
"Hey, Aaron,
Aaron here. The NHL, what the heck is that? Celebrated
Georgia.
Just celebrated its 100th year. This is going somewhere. Stick with me. And all other sports, football, baseball, basketball, etc., have been around for a very long time. Though they have evolved over time, the main structure is always the same. Why do you think people haven't grown tired of these? But it feels like when it comes to video games, we always want something new. I feel as I've gotten older, you can give me the same old game as long as it's good and I will enjoy it. Like Smash, come on, Switch Smash, just give me an announcement, dang it. Anyways, your thoughts, game on. And actually, it's funny because about 2 days later, he wrote right back and said, scratch that. Smash is announced 2018!
Yeah, that's hype that he got that announcement, but that's a really good question.
But see, like he's saying that, but the thing is,
He
like
did. We just
we read it.
He's saying that. Well, I would counter this to you, Aaron.
Oh,
while the games, and this is, I think this is true in video games. The games themselves, the core basic stays the same. It's always to do good and save or explore, be put into a role and see what it's like to be in that scenario,
Yeah,
into
I
a
agree
world
on
that's
that.
fun. The graphics, the mechanics, they get improved over time. On the same time, like look at baseball, football, basketball, all those sports. They're not what they were the day they came out. They've been refined over time. They have better.
Well, except for baseball.
Not even baseball.
They really need to shorten up those games.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Baseball
It's
has
almost
been refined.
unwatchable.
Like, look at football from the way it was played. Look at the way football was played in the 1930s versus today. You didn't have a forward pass. You didn't have
What?
You didn't have real helmets. You didn't have real pads. People got concussed a lot more to how the game is now.
You've been concussed.
You've been concussed, sir.
Or shoot, look at the way just in the last 20 years. Remember how the NBA was in the 1990s?
Yeah, they
with
had short
big-
shorts.
short shorts and big tall guys that would bruise you whenever you came in, to now where it's
Bill
like
Lambier and whatnot.
now today it's the age of the athletic point guard, and
Russell
these guys
Westbrook.
like these guys are way faster and more athletic than anyone from that era, really, except for maybe like Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller.
He's the GOAT. I don't care what people say.
LeBron.
Michael Jordan over LeBron.
We're going
day.
outside right now.
I don't care.
This podcast is over. But that's what I would say. Like, things evolve. They get better over time, but the reasons why we maybe love them, they always say true. That's what lasts. That's what I would say.
I kind of agree with most of what you said. I can't all the way agree.
Let me pull up my D real quick.
Nope. Can't do that because that would be. Oh, speaking of just a tip.
Long email. Not just the tip, is that?
Yes.
Daniel
rules.
Okay,
Right
so
in.
y'all didn't care about my opinion.
Hold
Long
up.
email.
Oh my God.
Hey, guy who doesn't watch
Oh
sports,
my
what do you got to
God.
say about it?
I'm good, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, guys, what's up?
What's
Says
up?
Daniel. Now that I will be building my computer this coming weekend, I'm considering what games I should be getting for it.
Can't we just read this the way we think he sounds?
I have a couple of Steam games.
of Steam games.
John, what are you doing?
Yeah, now you're just mocking.
Are you
me.
attacking a listener?
Yeah, you're a D. See, he's a troll.
Wow.
He's just a troll.
Wow.
This is why people are trying to take away our violent games
Lord,
because
I
of D's
apologize.
like you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't mean it.
I'm just jealous because I don't know how to build a
I'm
PC.
sorry. I'm sorry I said that.
I know.
I don't know how to build
I
a
just
PC.
give you some
Just-
Lego blocks and say, like, John, plug that in. You build a PC.
Oh, he called you dumb. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yes.
Where's the instructions?
I have a couple of Steam games such as Team Fortress 2, Gary's Mod, and other small Steam games that can run on Macs.
Yes.
And I know you're yelling at me, buy PUBG. Buy it. Yes. We
Maybe.
all agree?
Maybe.
Agree? Okay. And eventually I will, but I'm thinking of buying South Park The Stick of Truth to catch up before Fractured Butthole comes to the Switch, which I instantly ran to GameStop to put $34 on. Like, it's like 34. It's like the most unique
He's
number.
like, all I got is 34. I'm putting it all on this. I'm all in.
on black. 34 on black. After I watched the Nintendo Direct. I also am considering getting Battlefield 1 and or Battlefield 4. Also, are there great games with tons of customizations for your characters, features that are decent? Cough, cough, I'm looking at you, Sims 4. I can't believe I wasted $60 on that. You know what? By the way, didn't South Park, The Fractured Butthole, include a download of Stick of Truth?
Yes.
It did. So you should probably look at it. I don't know if that's coming
On
to
the Switch or not. They didn't mention it,
but yeah, I'm sure.
on
Put it this way,
Steam.
you could at this point, Daniel, go out there and buy the Stick of Truth on some random sale that occurs on a weekend for probably like $4 or $5. So don't even worry about
Well,
it.
but he says all that, and
Yeah.
you say that, and then he says this.
I want to play both on my Switch. Stop dreaming. Speaking of my Switch, I recently picked up Lego Ninja's Go Movie, and I have not played a good Legos game since Batman 2. Batman 2 is a really good Legos game.
The best one he's going to mention in a minute.
Oh, okay. Dang, you're all right. Read ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I've not played any Lego games after Lego Avengers came out, besides this and Force Awakens.
Force Awakens was off the chain.
Oh, okay. It still brought me back to when I fell in love with Lego games for the first time when I played Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, for the first time in 27 or 28. I have to agree. That was a great saga.
Yeah.
People loved it. Then again, that's the Wii motions controls were definitely ahead of its time. And I was still pretty young and didn't get an Xbox 360 until late 2013. Let's see. Still playing Breath of the Wild. Want to hear you guys tell more stories like that back in 2017 because you guys could really make a podcast called Weekly, your wife. Chat.
Look how he spelled your wife. I
Your
love
wife.
it.
That's actually accurate. That is the technical spelling. W-A-H-F-E.
the official spelling of your wife.
And make work just the tip. Long email, sorry, but you guys are always awesome, and you give me something to look forward to every Wednesday. Writing these emails every Sunday. Game on, boys. P.S. I'll attach a pic of my PC when I'm done building. Also, Windows 10 is way too freaking expensive. Hey, you need to look up, because there's a lot of easy ways to get actual licensed cheap versions of Windows. Especially
maybe you
with
should
the built
reply
PC.
and give him a link.
Maybe I will. Or you could be like Jeff. And I mean, like, I think you can actually now download and install it for free without actually having to purchase it. But if he's already got it,
I would recommend Phil's Hardware on YouTube. Also, there's another one. They show you how to legit go to these websites and legit
That's
get
the
a
way I
copy
did it.
of Windows. So
yeah, you can get like a copy for $30.
Phil is spelled F. I'm sorry, I was just kidding. PHIL.
Okay, but and he says PPS, your mom's box.
Your mom's box.
Hey, that's a tagline. Next up, Eli. And apparently I can see one thing he said. He says John, Chris, and Sean. That's correct. Not the correct order, but it is correct. See how I did that?
I like he almost Ron Burgundy did it.
He's like,
Chris,
John,
John,
and Sean? Dang it. Who put a question mark on the teleprompter? I have decided to purchase Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm going to play it with my uncle.
Nice.
Also
I bought it too. I got it too, Eli.
He says also he got his first solo win in Fortnite. Congrats.
Congrats. That's big. John still doesn't have one of those.
Yeah, no, he never will. He only has 2 wins, and it may be because he doesn't know anyone good to play with. Yeah. I have about 150 top 25s and top 5s, though. That's probably me, too. I have been pretty close to wins. When I was thinking about who I should play with, it came to me that we should play together. I will have to check with my mom, but I think she'd be cool with it. Would you be up for that? We could get in squad in Fortnite or fire team in Destiny 2. Well, definitely wouldn't happen with Destiny 2.
Yeah,
RIP. If you were on the PS4 for Fortnite, I might be down. We'll see if we can figure that out. I don't play that game as much now
He's
as
terrible.
I used to. I'm great. I got like tons of wins in that.
You're terrible.
You can't prove that. What are you taking that because you
pull up the stats, John?
Anyways, he says your wife, Eli. P.S. Is the Shadow of Mordor series worth playing? Just finished The Hobbit, and I'm reading Lord of the Rings. I think if you enjoyed The Hobbit, you will definitely, and if also you enjoy Assassin's Creed games, you would definitely have a fun time with some.
I'll say this: I've been in his shoes where you're like in that Lord of the Rings realm,
right?
And like everything you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you like want to get this book, you want to reread that, watch that movie, play this game. So, hey, all that. Thank you for the email.
Right? Phil says, "Hey guys, Phil from the north of England, which is as in Game of Thrones, is colder than the South and has far more beer than wine. Excellent and accurate. Anyways, love the show and have a suggestion. Maybe now and then you could just revisit games that some seem awesome at the time, but recollections aren't as good, or vice versa. Just a thought. Game on, fellas, and please, Sean. Nope, you failed on that,
but it's okay.
Shut it down, Phil. Give me a 9. 9. It pees he says he pees his pants. It works every time he hears it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Thank you for the email.
Oh, sorry, got to go home now.
Maybe we can, if we have a week.
Hey, I will tell you that your bestie.
Ooh.
He may also have a suggestion on something that
I don't care what he has
I'm just saying it may be along the same vein as what Phil said.
Shut it down. We'll do what Phil wants.
He's your bestie.
I don't care.
Okay, noted. We'll be relayed in Discord tonight.
I'll be on there with them. Ooh. And I will literally look at him in the face and go, I do not care about you. Please don't die. And finally, Sonny D just said, nah, he just sent a blank email.
That's probably because you now have a Trojan horse on your computer.
Probably.
Your identity is gone.
He sent it at 5:25 and just said, hey, Sunday.
Is he listening to us now?
Like, that'd be funny if he was. Sean, we got any tweets on Weekly Game Chat?
We got a few. Start off with a follow. I just like this name. It's at Booby Johnson 10. He follows us. So thank you.
Booby Johnson.
Oh, 10. Booby Johnson 10. At Tyrannotortoise, he says, and this was after a retweet of our show on Twitter. about the Dragon Ball Z. He says, so I'm balls deep in the DBZ review and haven't the faintest what's going on, guys. Any chance of a director's commentary for a DBZ noob?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, because I also don't know kind of what's going on. Let's see. We've got a follow from at Balls Agnostansel.
That's also funny.
Agnostansel. I think that's how I said that right. Thank you so much. I just followed you back.
Yeah.
There was some more I wanted to get to. So at Balls Tonsil, he put a picture out that's pretty funny of snow. It's like a snow-covered porch and trees and stuff. And he says, well, at least I have an Oculus to put me somewhere else in VR. Video games to the rescue. Hashtag main life. Hashtag vacation land. Are we going on vacation to Maine, buddy? Is that what's happening?
We should go there because it's a lobster.
Let's see. We had another follow to at Rusty Danish. Thank you so much for that follow. Following you back. There was a couple more. I wanted to get to these. Let's see here. Somebody say something.
I'm looking at things.
Yeah.
I got you, though.
Oh, at 4P Gaming followed us and said, hey, yo.
Hey.
At Weekly Games Chat. Been going through your catalog, laughing all the way. Love the podcast. We're now subscribed across we're subscribed across most your platforms now. Hashtag Game On.
Sweet.
Thank you for the follow. At delicate_ones. Thank you for the follow. I mentioned 4P Gaming. And also, old C Puckett 7. Right here
Kirby
in
Puckett?
C Puckett. See, Kirby's with a K. Right here in Cartersville, Georgia. So what's up, Georgia love? Do you think you know?
I might know who that is.
You might know C Puckett.
I might. We'll see.
And I think I got some DMs I wanted to point out. I'm going to show
That's
you
direct messages, John.
I'll show you one. If you remember the comedian from New York at Laugh NYC,
Yeah.
he gave us a video and he said basically it's need a laugh. His stand-up comedy is hilarious. I'll show you and John that after. But thank you for that DM. I wanted to point out. And at my name is Mud says he sent us a DM that said, "Welp, y'all done gone and done it. Spent some money this weekend hearing y'all talk about 3 of these games all the time. Sold me." And in that was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition.
Ooh.
He also said that we mentioned him a couple times in a week. He said 1 tweet, 1 p.m. He feels like he's becoming one with the group. And then I didn't respond to him because I kind of wanted to wait for it to be kind of organic like it is now. And he says, "Do y'all not check these?"
That's hilarious.
So, and I told him we do and to listen, so he should get that. But
we do our best to listen and get back to them, but sometimes,
well, sometimes we on purpose. I kind of want to wait. Like I said, I want to make it organic or whatever. So, thank you so much for that.
not punctual.
Well, no, it's not. I'm on here all the time, Chris. I run social.
I've seen when you log in.
No, you don't. Get off me.
You had a 48-hour drop over this weekend. What were you doing?
I was hanging out with people. But that's it. Chris mentioned you can find me at Twitter at Weekly Games Chat.
Yep.
So
you can find us on Twitter there. You can also find us on Facebook, also at Weekly Games Chat. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been, I believe, episode 140.
That can't be right.
5?
I think you said that 2 weeks ago. I'm just kidding. We're getting close to 50. We got it. The people not only need something from us, they deserve something from us, Chris. Something spectacular.
What are things?
This is what happens in board meetings with you guys.
He's like, we gotta give him everything. I'd be like, we got $10.
Normally you say DJ money, and I'm like, I buy things.
I got a roof on my car.
Yeah. I should ask the people about that one day, maybe for another time.
Ooh. If you like the show, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you choose, and you will get a new episode on Wednesdays. If they've got a review system or rating system on that service, you should drop us a review or rating, preferably in the high category, because it helps people find the show. As always, you can email us at weeklygamechat@gmail.com, tweet us again at weeklygamechat, or also on Facebook. If you send direct messages now, I can tell you this, I get a lot of trash messages through our direct messages on Weekly Games Chat at Facebook. So You might not get replies on those right away because they kind of didn't notify us. So my suggestion is if you're going to leave us a message on Facebook, just look for one of the episodes, the newest one that's tagged out there. Dropped us a little comment in there. We'll hit you right back.
Yeah.
Usually pretty quick on that.
Pretty on top of that.
And if you're awesome and you say something cool, I'll even like it as Weekly Games Chat.
Oh,
Did I just blow your mind?
blown.
Until next week,
Speaking
John
of
and I
blown.
and Sean will get our hopes up that Tomb Raider does not suck, and we'll end the streak of bad video game movies.
Dude, she's gonna be awesome. She's so
I really
hot.
hope so.
God,
I'm guessing
I can say
reviews
she's
will
hot,
drop
right?
tomorrow.
I can say that
She is
person
hot.
looks good.
Yes.
Okay.
It's allowed.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Until Bobby hears it, then you're screwed.
Who's Bobby?
That's your
Ooh,
brother.
See what I did there? See what I did there?
Yeah, right?
You man.
Dear Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby, did you hear what Sean said on that shot? Type.
And-
Go ahead.
Oh.
I was gonna say, go ahead. That's all I was
Okay.
gonna say.
All right. Until next time, I will simply say, game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris. Forgot you were you for a second.
Yeah.
And Sean.
Hey, game on, John.
Your mom's box.
Everybody have a good week. Peace out.
Thug life.